Hey everybody, welcome to my Suburban Oasis. I'm Soleil and I garden at Zone 5B in Michigan, and it's really cold outside. So right now I'm kind of going back and forth between doing a little bit of stuff related to outdoor gardening and doing some stuff related to indoor houseplant gardening. And today we're going to do a little bit of a combination of both as well. We're going to start off with indoor houseplant gardening by separating the Sansevieria Sayuri. We're going to repot it. It has gotten much too big for its nursery pot, and so we're going to work on that a little bit. And then also I have several pots of Coleus that I have actually propagated from cuttings, and we're going to combine them into a planter because I think that will look really cool. So let's get started first with the Sayuri. So this Sansevieria Sayuri I got at a houseplant sale at Michigan State University, and I was super excited because it was a really good deal. There are actually 4 giant plants in here, and you can see by the way that the pot is shaped, it is no longer the correct shape or size. So this is really pushing the limits on the pot, and I don't even know if we're going to be able to get it out. Simply by pulling on it, or if I'm going to need to try to cut it into pieces. So we're going to try first to get it out, but I really don't want to damage this plant. So I don't think this is going to work, you guys. I'm really afraid that I'm going to damage some of the outer leaves. So we're going to take some scissors and try to just loosen the sides of the pot a bit. And all I'm doing right now is trying to cut the pot sides without cutting any roots in the area where it is really pushing the pot out. I love this plant, but where it is right now is just kind of a little precarious because it's unbalanced the way that it's potted. Okay, here we go. Wow. This is pretty cool to see. I will show you as soon as I get this pot off. All right. A little bit more snipping. I always think it's so cool to see the roots on plants. Okay, here we go. Finally getting to the bottom of the pot, which means I can actually cut it away from the plant. So this is what the pot looks like after I tore it apart. Usually I try really hard to reuse these or recycle them. This plastic can still be recycled, but it definitely can't be reused. Okay, so as I said, this is a Sansevieria Sayuri, and it is part of the snake plant family, which is a really cool set of different kinds of plants. I like it because it tolerates low light, and I have this in about a medium light right now. And when I say it tolerates low light, that means it just doesn't thrive. It's just kind of surviving. And it doesn't require very much water either. So it's a very easy to grow house plant, unless you're an overwaterer, which I am, but I know that these require such low amounts of water that I do pretty well with them. So I just kind of try to forget about them. All right, I'm just pulling some of the extra, what I see as extra soil off the top of the plant here. they're kind of growing at a little bit of different levels, and I'm seeing what I believe are some new little pups that are developing that I don't want to disturb too much. But I think the biggest one that is a standout is over here. So I'm going to try to get that one off first. So let's see what we have happening. I think this might actually be a situation where kind of slicing through the roots would be the best route. Just so I can get down to where I can see what I'm doing, making sure that if there's any pups down in here that I'm not killing those off. Not that I mind right now. I mean, this is such a big plant. I mean, I probably would have paid what I paid for it for half of the plant, given what they usually are in plant shops. All right, now I'm going to try to pry these apart. If you are an outdoor plant lover, you know that you can actually pry plants apart outdoors, and the roots grow back really quickly. It's a little different with indoor plants. Yes, you can pry them apart. They just grow back slower because they're not outside, so they don't have as much sunlight. All right, here we go. And it's separating. All right, so that's great. Just gonna put that into this pot over here. Now, why I chose this pot was because I really liked that hopefully it will pick up some of the blue hues of the Sayuri plant, which is very unique to this particular Sansevieria. All right, I'm just going to get the rest of this kind of tidied up and repot it, and then we will move on to the Coleus. So a quick potting tip about Sansevieria. They are very tall, and because of that, I just make sure that the plant is actually a little deeper than normal, and then I just don't fill the pot as much. That way there's always some room for the plant to kind of lean, and it also just looks, I find, to be a little bit more in scale with the pot whenever I select them. So what do you think, guys? How's that look? I'm excited. I think it's really pretty. And I just pack the soil down really well around the roots, and that way it doesn't move so much. I haven't obviously watered it in, and the roots haven't had an opportunity to really, you know, take hold in here. Oh, I'm finding a little crack there. But it will be very solid in terms of it's staying put soon. So that's so pretty. I'm so excited to have that done. I've been wanting to do that ever since I got that plant. So I wanted to put all of them together, but obviously I did not have the chance to do that. So I need to find a pot for this one. You can see some of the areas where I broke off the plants. And I think I'm just going to put this one in a terracotta pot and maybe find somebody locally to give this to. Or not, I don't know. You know, whoops, this one's not quite wide enough in the bottom. I'm gonna have to go with this other one here. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I have a house plant, I find it a little bit harder to part with usually than I think it's going to be. Once you've grown a house plant, or you like it, or you've potted it up a certain way, you might say that you really like it and find that it's harder to part with than you would think. You get kind of attached to it. I think that's just because of the amount of care and time that we put into our plants, whether it's indoors or outdoors. What are some of your favorite plants around your house? Again, Sansevierias are one of mine just because of their ability to tolerate so many different types of conditions. If you have a really sunny spot, they love that too, and it's just great for them because then they thrive and they grow faster. So I think this one's going to look really cute, even potted on its own. Just going to get a little bit more soil in there. Again, making sure that I pat it down, and I do pat these down kind of a little bit more than I do with many other houseplants just because of their top heaviness. Another way that you can deal with that is by putting gravel or rocks on top, but because of the fact that these really don't like a ton of water, I avoid that. All right, so that one looks really cute too on its own. I love it. All right, now let's get to the Coleus cuttings. So now that my Coleus are all fully rooted, I'm going to go ahead and put them into this cute galvanized tin. And I just think it'll look really nice inside, and I can grow these on and just continue to pinch them until the sun warms up outside and we're able to plant them out. I really like having the red in the middle just for a contrast. So this is just a Lowe's version. I think it's one of the Broadway Coleus or Broad Street Coleus. And this one is also from the Lowe's collection. And then this is a Proven Winners Lemon Lime. I feel like I'm forgetting that name. Maybe it will come to me if that's not what it was. It doesn't seem quite right, because usually their names have a little twist to them that are kind of fun. So first things first, I'm just going to put a little bit of soil down in here. And this is just potting mix. And I'll probably have to open another bag of potting mix because I don't have a ton of it in here. Get out a bigger scoop. Alright. And I'm going to try to keep these actually potted fairly low so that they can grow kind of tall within the area that they're growing, because I don't want them to end up running into the grow light. And you can see that the roots are starting to come out the bottom of this one. And they're very thirsty. These definitely drink a lot of water once they get all of their roots going. Perfect. Look at that. That is so healthy and happy. All right, we'll put that one up front. This one actually, I think, has one of the bigger pots. And actually, out of these cuttings, when I first put them in, they had 3 cuttings, and they got large, so I pinched them off again and took another set of cuttings and popped them in. And so this one hasn't like even filled up the potting mix completely. But each of these should have like 6 cuttings in them, which is a pretty good start for Coleus. When it gets warmer, I'll have plenty to work with, and you can continue to then take cuttings because, gosh, it doesn't take very long for them to root. And I know they're going to need more space to grow their roots. So you can see this one's very full of roots as well. So I just want to make sure they have plenty of space to grow. All right, can you see that? Isn't that going to be cute? Okay, some of you may ask me where I have my little potting, my soil scoop from. This is simply from the dollar store. I mentioned it in my last video. They're pretty awesome. For $1, you get like 6 little scoops. I think they're for ice or something like that. They were in the party aisle. And I found that's really helpful because now I won't have to bring in my outdoor scoop inside and then back outside when it gets warmer. So I can just keep these, and they have various sizes which work really well depending on what pot you're using. All right, I thought I'd just bring you in a skosh closer so you could see it a little bit better as I'm finishing it up. Do any of you grow Coleus, and have you taken any cuttings? I'm wondering if people do them in water, if they do them in soil. I think this is a fun way to do them because now I can enjoy them through the winter almost like a house plant, which I haven't done before. So I haven't had grow lights for that long. This is only my 2nd year of having them. And I think that probably one of the biggest benefits to them is having them in the winter time, you know, when there's so much limited space in terms of access to light. In my house anyways, I don't know, you may have a sunnier area or more windows in your house than I do, but I just find that I run out of room really quick. All right, I think that's good. And I'm not going to water them because they were just watered recently. And this is just going to grow up really nice and fill out. And as they get taller again, I'll just keep pinching them back. And I'll have my own little window box here inside. So I'm just going to show you what that looks like real quick in my little grow area underneath the grow lights. That's not pretty. This is just some dried lavender that I have, and I'm going to do a little tour of my downstairs planty area soon. But I just think this turned out really nice. What do you guys think? Well, of course, I have a bit of a mess to clean up now, but that's usually the case when it comes to gardening, whether you're doing it outside or inside. I hope you enjoyed today's gardening video, and see you next time. Bye!